Hello and welcome. Today we have several interesting stories, including one about a dumb lady whose husband was cheating and she tried to get revenge on him in the worst possible way. I, 30 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 29 female, for 4 years now, and things have all in all been pretty good. We both don't see eye to eye politically on many things with her father, but we still visit him and her mother fairly frequently around holidays, and he is friendly enough to know to not bring up politics around the both of us because we don't agree, but I digress. I've talked about proposing to my girlfriend over the past couple of months and about what she wants, etc., and she mentioned she wanted me to ask her dad for permission. I was kind of taken aback by this isn't a normal thing my girlfriend would say. So I asked why. She said because it's something she would like me to do. Her sister's husband did it, and some wedding funding from him would likely be contingent on me doing this. I came back with that I wouldn't be asking another person for permission to marry her. It's an extremely outdated tradition for one, and I'm a 30-year-old person. I can do what I want to do with someone I love. I don't need anyone else's permission. She got mad and said I just needed to do it, because it's a small thing to ask for. And she wants some of the money to have a few more things at our wedding that we won't be able to afford without it. I'm continuing to stand my ground about not asking for this. Am I the idiot? Update. So, after reading a lot of the responses in the original thread, I decided to ask for my girlfriend's parents' blessing. I told her I was going to do it and she was very happy. We were going to visit about 2 weeks after I posted the thread, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to ask. So, my fiancée went for a run one morning and I was lounging around talking with her parents when I said I'd like to talk to them about something. They both kinds of smiled like they knew what I was going to say, and immediately her dad says, "Let's go talk in the garage." So he and I go out there and I phrase it as some people told me to: I want to marry your daughter and I'm letting you know that I plan to propose because I love her. I also want to get your blessing because I respect you and your wife. He was pleased with the answer and smiled and gave his approval for me to propose. That was all I needed. The proposal went great about a month later. Romantic and just like I had planned, my fiancée loved it. So this past Sunday we were discussing venues and the ceremony, and my fiancée casually said, "Well, Dad wants us to get married in this church, so we'll be doing it here." Now I'm not religious and I wouldn't mind getting married in a church, but again, why does his opinion matter for our wedding? So I asked, "Anything else your dad wants for our wedding?" And then said we also needed to stay in separate rooms the night before our wedding too per her father. Hilarious since we've been living together for almost 2 years. This led to a massive argument about the wedding and the role of her dad in her life. I told her that up until a couple of months ago, it seemed she couldn't have cared less about what her dad thought. But would it stop with the wedding? Would it continue on if we had children? Her excuse was that she was ruining her dream wedding and it was contingent on appeasing her father. She didn't understand why I couldn't compromise and get her the extra cash to get her the wedding she had always dreamed of. So, I told her, "I'm not ready to get married if this is the stance you're going to take with your father," and that did not go over well. The yelling started and things started being thrown at me, so I left. I called my buddy and went to his place. He gladly let me come over. I've got tons of missed calls from her, some texts ranging from "I miss you, let's talk it out" to "you're an abuser trying to separate me from my family." I just honestly don't know where this behavior is coming from. It's like my fiancé has been taken over by some bridezilla that only cares about having a perfect wedding. I'm just taking time to think about everything and what I want to do next. I'll maybe update again after this, but for now, things aren't looking too great for the future of our relationship. Just trying to keep my head above water. The top replies, "I'm honestly going with not the idiot. I completely understand your side, and logically it doesn't make sense to ask for permission. However, not everything about relationships is logical, especially with religious conservative parents. I grew up in a religious family, so I can understand where she might be coming from, but it may be a way for her to feel like you are being fully welcomed into family. It's a verbal approval from her father that he is okay with you marrying her, and honestly, parental approval is always craved, especially in households where it isn't always given. It could also be a way for her to try to maintain some semblance of a relationship with her parents, i.e. an olive branch, especially if things are strained due to political differences. Also, if her parents will contribute more money this way, she could be looking forward to a dream wedding that needs extra funds. When my aunt got married, her husband just had a simple conversation with my grandfather. More of like a "I am planning on asking your daughter to marry me, and I wanted to let you know," man to man kind of thing. Maybe this would be more of a middle ground for you. The second reply. The historical context of the tradition itself sucks big time, but modern day it's more of a "I'd like your blessing" kind of conversation. Which is really sweet. Here, I actually think that OP isn't an idiot, but he definitely sucks a little bit because his future wife wanted him to approach her dad about it. My brother-in-law took the conversation in the direction of "I'm in love with your daughter and the life we've built, and I want to marry her. I'd really like your blessing in becoming a member of this family." That angle made for a really sweet moment in which my dad got to tell my brother-in-law that he's beyond proud to call him his son. He even included all of us siblings. It was an incredibly small moment that meant the entire world to all of us, and now we have a new brother-son family member. I think that this could have been that kind of moment for OP, and he let it slip past him because making a stand against the tradition was more important, which is really sad. It would have been a small compromise that would have made his future wife and father-in-law very happy. So I just think he kinda sucks for failing to see that. The second story. I'm sleeping with my husband's mistress's husband, and it feels like a small win for me every time. I, female 40, just finished watching The White Lotus S2 with my husband, male 45, and couldn't help but think about Daphne. I met my husband 10 years ago, and I'd loved him our entire marriage. We have 3 children together, all under 5. I found out a year ago that my husband is sleeping with his colleague, female 30. I can't describe the pain I feel, but you can see it in Daphne's eyes sometimes. I felt ugly, undesirable, and stupid. I got obsessed with the colleague, and I found out who her husband, male 35, was. I actually knew him from mutual friends. I contacted him and told him everything about our spouses. After a week's texting, we both knew without talking about it what we wanted. Revenge sex is just the best kind there is, or maybe this man is just a god. We decided we liked each other and wanted to continue. We meet at least once a week, and I wish I could see him more, but we both know it is unwise. We decided that since we had each other, it doesn't matter what our spouses did, they're forgiven. I don't want my children to grow up in 2 homes, and he knows a divorce would be too costly for him. I watched The White Lotus with my husband beside me while smiling inside that I knew what kind of a dirty liar he is, and I am for that matter, and I love it. Please spare me the "you are as bad though," because actually I'm not. Update. Look guys, thank you for caring, asking me to update when all of this blows up in my face. How considerate of you. I guess if it all blows up in my face and my husband leaves me, my BF, and I can finally pursue a relationship together, no worries there. I can't believe how many hate me here. I can't believe I got this much attention to begin with. I don't know if I should laugh or cry about it. I need to show this to my BF with all the comments. Maybe we have been so immersed in our heartbreak then love story to just take a moment to reflect over our part in all this. I don't know if I dare to make an update to all of you who reached out asking me if I could. I mean, even anonymously, I just can't take all the hate. The top replies. It'd be even more crazy if your husband knew you were cheating but just doesn't care. All things in the dark will come to light, so I hope you have plan B for when you get caught. I don't think you are a bad person. I probably have burned my whole life to the ground. You found a way to live with it. I think that might make you better than me, I'd argue. The second reply. I understand why you're doing it. You're hurt and you clearly want to be the last one laughing, but I want to say that as a child of someone whose parents did this, it isn't better than a divorce. It is actually the complete opposite. Y'all are just extending your marriage's death and adding more trauma to your kids, even if they're under 5 years old. Just get a divorce. Third story. My husband's, Brian's, family has known Kathy's family for years. Kathy and my mother-in-law have been friends for over 40 years. Brian and Anna's brother would have sleepovers at each other's house. So would Anna and Jenny, Brian's sister. He found out Anna had a crush on him and he told her he thought of her as a sister. Anna pushed the issue and he directly told her that if they were the last two on Earth, the population would die. He thought that was the end of it. When Brian started to date, none of them worked out. Then he met me. The weekend I came to meet his family, I met Anna and her family. The guys all went outside and Kathy cornered me. She said I was a lovely girl, but like Brian's other relationships, it wouldn't work out because he's always been promised in marriage to Anna. Excuse me? I didn't know what to say and we left shortly after. I asked Brian's mom a little about it and she said as far as she knew he had never had any interest in her and they had never been any marriage arrangements. So we got married and everything was great. Anna got married to an absolutely sweet guy, Steve. Recently, Anna was hanging out with Brian's sister Jenny and told her about a dream she had. She said that Brian had left me and our kids and married her. She went into great detail about the dream. She said she wished that would really happen. Anna said she didn't love Steve and only married him because he asked. Jenny said that she knows me and Brian are very happy together and would never leave his kids. Anna said you never know. Jenny of course told me and Brian. He was disgusted and I was shocked. It's been over 15 years. Jenny said that why Brian's previous relationships didn't work because Anna and Kathy were sabotaging them. I told him what they said to me and he was furious. We never told anyone else. A few weeks later, Brian and Steve were working on Brian's car. Steve asked if I knew why Anna was acting funny and that Brian didn't know. Brian was lying because he was still mad. Steve mentioned he was afraid she was going to leave him and he would be devastated. I related what she and Kathy told me, what they'd done to the others, and what she told Jenny. I didn't go into any detail. I wanted him to know I feel like she does love Steve, she just never let her crush on Brian go, and I'm not telling him to hurt anybody. Maybe he could help her move on. He thanked me and went home. Kathy came by to visit with my mother-in-law and asked if anyone had seen Steve. Mother-in-law mentioned he was working with Brian on something, but everything was good. Kathy spilled everything. Apparently, Steve went home and asked Anna about Brian. Anna didn't hesitate to tell him she didn't love him, she loved Brian, and one day he was going to leave me and marry her. He went to their bedroom, packed her stuff, and dropped her off at her mom's. He told Kathy Anna was promised to the wrong guy. Kathy asked if she could stay here. Mother-in-law said no. My mother-in-law thinks I'm an idiot for telling him. Jenny thinks I should have shut it down sooner. Brian is mad it even happened. OP replies to comments in the comment section. No offense, but why are Anna and Kathy still in all your lives? Clearly, they have actively trying to hurt Brian. Does the mother-in-law not care about her own child's happiness that she feels the need to continue this friendship? Op replies, we didn't know it was this bad. We've all hung out, had cookouts, and gone on double dates together. Mother-in-law says it's none of her business, so she's staying out of it, but hangs out with Kathy less. Jenny hasn't talked to Anna since Steve kicked Anna out. She's upset because she and Anna have been friends for so long. The second reply. Well, mother-in-law can't just stay out of it when they are actively trying to ruin her son's marriage. That's what a bad mother does. The OP replies, I think she's mad, but she doesn't want to stir the pot. She's always laid low when the drama starts. It's also probably why Brian hasn't said anything. Just like his mom. The third reply, Brian should get everyone in a room and tell everyone how he feels about you and how he feels about her. This is out of control. They literally ruined his relationships for years. Are still trying to ruin your marriage? Poor Steve. I hope he finds someone amazing. Your mother-in-law needs to do something too. Anna needs help. This is crazy.